Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Anita Library. I'm Anita and this is my library. I finally got around to making TBR prompts. It was harder than I thought it was going to be, and they're still not as unique as I would like for them to be, but I feel like it can be a working project to get and think of better ones, because I've seen card games and board games and things. I just don't know that I want to dedicate the time to make one up myself, like that's that intricate. Maybe I'll like buy one on Etsy one day and maybe I'll switch it up, like do my own TBR game and then maybe do like Etsy cards or something like that. So that's still up for debate, but right now we're gonna do TBR jar, and I've never done a TBR jar. Up until recently I've kind of been against picking TBRs really for the month, but I found a way that works for me, so I don't oversaturate my TBR and pick 20 books because I anticipate reading like 15 or something like that. Like some months I read 15, some months I read 5, some months I read 10. So I feel like if I just pick a few, then that would just be like my focus books. If I read all of them, awesome, I get a cookie. If I don't read all of them, then that's fine. But I don't know how many prompts are in here. I used 2 sheets of paper. I cut them up to decent sizes, maybe like 2-inch size pieces of paper, and just filled out as many as I could until I couldn't think of any more, until I got tired. So all I did was I folded them in half. I didn't really mix them up too much, so I'm gonna mix them up now, and we're gonna pick 5 prompts. I want to think of some like silly ones, silly prompts or goofy prompts or something like that, but I don't know if just my creative juices weren't flowing at the time, but we'll see if this is fun with the prompts that I've come up with. So I have 1, we're gonna do 5, okay? So the first one is a book that starts with the. A book that starts with the. It doesn't want to focus. All right, just trust me. Trust me. A book that starts with the. All right, I have plenty of those, so I'm not worried about how difficult it's going to be to find one of those. So I'm gonna pick the second one. Romance. Ha! Easy, too easy. Yeah, a whole shelf that's spilling over with romance. So that should not be tough, obviously, at all. That would kind of suck though if I was like, oh, I'm really not in the mood for romance at all, and then I have to pick a romance. Like, there's no way around it. Third, I have a dark academia book. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I'm so in the dark academia mood vibe moment, and I have several. That's probably why I put this on here, because I was like, I want to read more. Obviously, I have the freedom to choose whatever I want to choose, but now I'm like, it wasn't me, okay? Like, I've read 3 in a row, who cares? The cards say it's dark academia time. So that's number 3. Let me put them in order. All right. Number 4. I'm really trying not to get a paper cut as well. That's like one of my top 5 fears is paper cuts. Historical fiction. Oh, I'm kind of disappointed. I shouldn't have made them so boring. I shouldn't have made them so boring, because just putting the genre, I don't know. Oh, I don't know if that's like really fun, but I am in a historical fiction mood as well. So this isn't bad. Historical fiction, yes, and I have plenty to choose from. All right, last one. What I'm saying is, like, they're not exciting. Like, oh, let's see how many of these I have, or how am I gonna come up with something that fits this prompt? It's literally historical fiction. It's literally romance. All right, the last one, a book with a black girl or woman on the cover. Okay. So that didn't like niche me down to a certain genre. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go pick 5 books. Well, I'm gonna pick maybe 2 or 3. 2 or 3 for each, and then when I come back and talk to you all. We will work through it together to decide which one is going to be the one to represent the prompt. Okay, I have shopped my shelves and I have come back with 2 books for each prompt, and some of them I am leaning more one way than the other. Some of them, like I said, we're gonna find out together. So first up, I think I have them in order that I pulled them, but the first one is a book that starts with the. So I picked The Perfect Marriage by Jeneva Rose. This has been sitting on my shelf for a very long time, but this one is about a husband and wife. They're married, obviously. She's a lawyer and he is cheating on her, and the person he is cheating on her with ends up dead or murdered, and he ends up on trial for said murder, and she ends up defending him in the murder trial. So I don't know how it plays out. I hear this book is crazy and I could be here for that. So this is option number 1. Option number 2 is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I just read my first Nicola Yoon book over the weekend, just recently, and I really liked it. It was a really easy read. It was quick. It didn't even take me a full day at all to read that, and I was engaged from beginning to end. I cried, I kicked my little feeties, I swooned. It was so great. So this is another one of her books. It is about kind of a cynic girl. She says she's a girl who believes in science and facts, not fate, not dreams that will never come true. And then there is Daniel, who also kind of just says that he's not the poet, he's not a dreamer, but something about the girl like makes him think that fate has something much more extraordinary in store for the both of them. So I think they just bring the best out of each other. So that could be really cute. Now, this might not be a wise decision because I have a variety. I tried to pick a variety of books for each because I didn't want like a bunch of romance, a bunch of thrillers, and I don't know which direction I'm going with the rest of them, but I'm gonna go with my feeling here. And what's crazy is like this has been sitting on my shelf for a long time, and this I just recently hauled. So I don't know, do I want to read an anticipated read, or do I want to like give my oldie but goodie some love? It's been a while. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this could be kind of crazy, but this is like really sweet. I'm gonna go with this. I know, I was just about to say this, but I'm gonna go with this because I know, I really feel like I'm gonna enjoy this. Not that I don't feel like I'm gonna enjoy this, but I'm certain I will enjoy this. And like, I just wanna start out with something that I'm like confident with, because I don't know. This is the one. Okay, so far. A book that starts with The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Now, by romance, I don't know why I keep showing you like you can see, but this is the romance pick. I picked Miya Ariel, When I Think of You. She's a debut author. This is her first book. I just think this couple looks so in love and just like seasoned in love, not new in love, but seasoned, and I just think they're just so super swingy. This says, this unexpected spark of 2 former flames may force them to choose between their dreams and each other in the sweeping second chance romance. So I believe they're both in like the film industry, like she's a producer, he's a director, or maybe vice versa or something along those lines, and his career is kind of taken off and hers is seemingly stagnant, but they kind of meet up on the same set just by happenstance, and things kind of go from there. But they've dated once before. It doesn't say, well, in college. They were in college 7 years ago. So this just seems so sweet, and it has a blurb by Kennedy Ryan. Speaking of Kennedy Ryan, she is the competitor to this category, This Could Be Us, again by Kennedy Ryan. This is the second book in the Skyland series. The first book was This Could Be Us? No. This first book was Before I Let Go, and I read that several months ago, It gave me all the feels. All of her books give me feels, and I expect and anticipate that. So this is why it's been so long for me to even pick this up, because you gotta get ready. Like, there's no way I can just pull a Kennedy Ryan book off the shelf and be okay. Like, you have to get ready, and it has taken me this long to get ready, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. So, and I bought these at the same haul, so it's not like, oh, this is new, this is old. I bought these at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. This is the last Kennedy Ryan book I have on my shelf. It's the only book I have of hers. Obviously, this is her debut novel. So, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and see what this one is talking about. Because I know she's working on Hendrik's book, the 3rd book in the Skyland series. It probably won't be out till like next year sometime, but I would like to see what this one's talking about. It's been waiting for its turn, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. So that is gonna be my romance pick. Next up, this one I'm excited about, and I'm not even gonna hold you. I already know which one I'm going to pick for my dark academia book. Like I said, I've been in a dark academia mood. I love this genre or subgenre, and if I see the trope, if I see Black people in these types of stories, I'm going to buy it. It will be on my shelf and I will read it. So I have two. First up, I have Ace of Spades by Faridah Abike-Iyimide. Again, charge it to my head and not my heart. I try. But this is a book about a private academy, Nibius Private Academy. It's got 2 students, Devin and Chiamaka, and they are supposed to be like the top of the top. They're competing for valedictorian. Well, amongst that competition, they start getting like text messages and like phone calls and stuff from some anonymous person who's kind of not blackmailing them, but kind of like threatening to expose some of their secrets that they don't want to get out. And they kind of team up together to see who is behind all of these threats and these secret messages and stuff like that. So I am really excited, and this is this person's debut. I have another book from them on my shelf. It's Where Sleeping Girls Lie, but this is the first book from this author. Second, I have, we're in competition with Ace of Spades. I have Promise Boys by Nick Brooks. This is, the blurb on the top says perfection, excellence, discipline, murder. So this is about a private school for boys, or prep school for boys, called Urban Promise, and these students are forced to follow really strict rules. It's really disciplined. They're trying to set them up for a successful college experience. This is all on the like morals and values of their principal, Principal Moore. Somebody unalives Principal Moore, and the 3 Promise Boys end up being the prime suspects for his murder. So they are trying to prove their innocence and discover who is actually behind the murder. But I think it's the last question here says, what is the true culprit hiding among them? So did one of them actually do it? I don't know, we'll see. So this Promise Boys is competing with Ace of Spades. Like I told you, I already know which way I'm about to swing, and it's this way, because I have another book from this author, like I said, Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I want to see, is this author's writing style something that I actually enjoy? Because I'm really drawn to the premises of the books, and I'm hoping that I actually do enjoy them. I've had my eye on this. I almost read this over the last dark academia book that I picked up, so this has been on my mind, and I'm really glad that I got the prompt to give me the excuse to choose it. So Ace of Spades is the win for dark academia. Next up, I have historical fiction. Again, I don't know why I'm showing you that. I have first Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins-Valdez. This is the book about a nurse from the 1970s in Alabama. It says, a searing and compassionate novel about a young black nurse's shocking discovery and burning quest for justice in post-segregation Alabama, from the New York Times bestselling author of When. The book that is competing with Take My Hand is The Blueprint by Reggiana Rashad. I said Rashad. This is, it says, in the vein of Octavia E. Butler and Margaret Atwood, a harrowing novel set in alternate United States, a world of injustice and bondage, in which a young black woman becomes the concubine of a powerful white government official and must face the dangerous consequences. It very much is feeling Margaret Atwood-like as far as Handmaid's Tale, and I could see the Octavia E. Butler a bit because she writes more towards the sci-fi angle. So this person, Celine, lives in Texas where choice no longer exists. Facts. An algorithm decides a black woman's occupation, spouse, and residence. She takes solace in penning the biography of Harriet, an ancestor who'd been an enslaved concubine to a wealthy planter in 1800s Louisiana. But history repeats itself when Celine, lonely and naive, becomes entangled with Bastian Martin, a high-ranking government official. Celine finds the psychological bond unbearable, so she considers alternatives. With Henriette as her guide, she must decide whether and how to leave behind all she knows. And it's inspired by the enslaved concubines to United States politicians and planters. And it unfolds the dual timelines to explore bodily autonomy, hypocrisy, and power imbalances through the lens of the nation's most unprotected, a black female. I feel like this is gonna have me messed up. Messed up. Oh my goodness. The blurb on the back says, "The Blueprint is an astounding work, an unflinching portrait of misogyny and racism. Reggiana Rashad is a remarkable new talent and a timeless literary voice." It seems like a quick read, like as far as length, but the content I feel like is gonna slow you down. Especially if you are part of any of those communities, if you're amongst the nation's most unprotected black female, because it's going to resonate with you. So that's that one. I'm not sure which direction I want to go, because I have been interested in both of these pretty equally. I've had this one longer than this one. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm so curious to know what this lady is gonna do. Like, her whole life is decided for her, and then she decides to run. She decides to make her own future. I want to see how she does it, what obstacles she faces, like who she becomes during that journey. I need to know. I literally need to know. So this wins. I wasn't expecting it to be that easy. I'm curious, like, oh, I wonder like what happens in her being the nurse and stuff and such. I need to know how she does it. So yes, The Blueprint by Reggiana Rashad is the winner for, what was it? Historical fiction? Historical fiction. Finally, this is a toughie. A book with a black girl or woman on the cover. So first I picked Queen Charlotte by Julia Quinn and Shonda Rhimes. I have watched season 1 and maybe 2 episodes of season 2 of Bridgerton, and the main couple in season 2 of Bridgerton gave me the ick. They made me very angry, and I didn't want to see anything about their love story. Like, disrespect and childish, and I did not, could not, would not. Maybe I'll just skip to season 3 one day and just watch that. I don't know, but I abandoned Bridgerton. And my best friend says, well, you at least need to watch Queen Charlotte, and I'm like, I don't know. And she says, well, if you're not gonna watch it, read the books. And I'm like, I might be able to do that. So I found this in my bookstore. They just so happen to be having a sale for buy one get one half off, and this was a part of it, so I ended up picking it up. This is about again, Queen Charlotte from Bridgerton, and I don't think this was an original story like before the TV shows and stuff started coming out. I think they wrote this kind of afterwards, but it is a prequel to the Bridgerton-ness that we've seen on the show. So I think this might be pretty fun. I have no idea what happens in this. I know it's a romance because I know Bridgerton is a romance. I know it's about the queen who turns out to be a badass. Yeah, like that's all I know. I didn't even read the back. I'm not gonna read the back. So yeah, I got that. And then secondly, for a book with a black woman on the cover, I got Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I am really interested about this. This is witchy, if I'm not mistaken. It says, after her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Brie Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home until she witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus at college. So she ends up being invited to a secret society of Legendborn that hunts the creatures down, and you know, she ends up being a part of it, and something. So this is a YA young adult. This is a YA fantasy. I haven't too much been reading fantasy since I paused on my Avatar series. I have 2 books left. I am planning to get through them by the end of the month, by the end of June. I don't know. So I'm not sure that I'm ready for another fantasy book, but I do understand that there are like social injustices that are explored in this, racial tensions that are explored in this. So considering now that I have the books that I am going to put in my TBR, I know that there are racial tensions in at least 2 of these. So these obviously big racial tensions. So I'm like, do I want to do that in fantasy as well, even though I am really interested in this book? Or am I looking for more of a fluffy fluff? I'm gonna pick Legendborn, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna pick Legendborn because I am deciding to commit to this book because I trust that I am gonna enjoy it. I have the 2nd book to the series, so I know I'm gonna want to get to that eventually, and I have had this book on my mind almost endlessly for a very long time. So I want to commit to this one. I am interested in this one, and I feel like I could still read this at my leisure throughout the month. I just wouldn't have committed to it. So I'm gonna put this one back. This is not the pick. But the ones that I have picked out here, I am going on record to say that I've committed to these. I don't know that I did it intentionally, but these are all by Black authors. They are diverse in genre. We have 2 romance, we have a thriller, we have historical fiction, and we have a fantasy. So we have a little bit of everything, and I think this works out really nice. I like picking my TBRs this way with like one of many different types of books, because no matter what mood I'm in, I'm gonna have a book that I've committed to on my TBR that fits that. So I'll kind of chip away at some standout books because I've diversified them to begin with. So, and I don't know that I did that on my own, or was it the cards, if you will, but I'm really excited to get into these. We'll see in my next month's wrap up if I get to all of these, but I'll definitely get to at least 1 or 2. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun. I love picking out books. That's why I kind of call it this a needed library, because I feel like I'm in the library. I don't have to pay for anything. I don't have to return anything right away. Like, I can take my time with it, and I'm really, really excited. Really excited to just chip away at my shelf and actually experience the things that I thought would make me happy or give me the types of feelings and reflections that I'm looking for when I pick up books. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you like seeing me pick out my books, please give this a thumbs up, and I'll do more in the future. If you want to see me actually come to the shelf and pick them out, let me know and I can work that in. I just thought this would be quicker, so you're not having to go through my very indecisive thought process. But if you want to see the indecisive thought process, let me know. I don't mind sharing with you. I'm not ashamed. So please consider subscribing before you go. I would love to connect with you in the book community. And other than that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.